Hello, fine scouts and intrepid internet travelers. Welcome to my channel. I'm Josh, your Binge Buffoon, if you will have me. Today, I'm going to be watching the first official trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine, because views. Also, we love Disney and Marvel these days. But I am really interested in this film. So here's the thing, and I'm going to say this real quick because of retention reasons. Actually, maybe I'll just talk about my expectations, hopes, dreams, concerns with this film after I watch the trailer. Because you don't care about that right now. You're not here for any of that. Some of you maybe are, in which case thank you for listening to me. Because that's why I'm doing this, so people listen to me for once. I would never talk to her about Deadpool and Wolverine. She doesn't even know what that is. Yeah, reaction channel. Let's ride the coattails of other people's art. I gotta stop making mom jokes on this channel. People are gonna actually start to think I'm a pathetic 30-something-year-old mama's boy. You know? I am. By all or some accounts, I am. Also, I'm not the type to necessarily ooh and ah at trailers. I'm a heavy commentary person. That's why I don't usually do trailer reactions. So this might be super boring for you. I'll lean into some oohs and ahs. Oh my gods. For you guys, why not, huh? That's what we do here on YouTube. But I do, again, I'll talk after. I do love these, and we'll get to that. And Wolverine's in a bar, of course. I don't think we've ever actually seen him drunk, but he probably can't get drunk through regeneration.
Hi, Peanut. I'm gonna need you to come with me right now. Look, lady.
Look, lady. He is kind of in a gimp suit. That wouldn't mean that he's a woman, though.
Oh, whiskey dick of the claws. It's quite common in Wolverines over 40.
You don't want this.
Unless you want to take a deep breath through your fucking forehead, I suggest you reconsider.
I think that was a reference to their
I'm
first
about to lose
encounter
everything that I've ever cared about.
Origins.
Not my fucking problem.
Is that what you said when your world went to shit?
Come again.
This Wolverine let down his entire world.
Want to talk about what's haunting you, or should we wait for a third act flashback?
Go fuck yourself.
It's already kind of more emotional than I thought it would be. Are those his actual arms, or did they CGI the sleeves off?
But you do.
Trust me, kid, I'm no hero.
You always say that.
You were an X-Man. You were the X-Man.
Yeah.
I am soaking wet right now.
Alright.
Boys are so silly.
No idea what that is.
This is what I'm talking
Ant-Man's
about.
head? Helmet?
Big slow-motion action sequence.
What was that, a Mad Max reference?
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
I was gonna say, is that a younger version of Tilda Swinton's character from Doctor Strange? This trailer was a vibe.
Do some
Oh,
cocaine.
Hey, cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian marching
They
powder?
know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Even snowboarding?
Even disco dust.
White girl interrupted?
Even force bump.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes. But I can't.
okay. You know, the one thing, because Deadpool and Wolverine is directed by Sean Levy. Maybe it's Levy. It's one of the two. He did Free Guy and the Atom Project with Ryan Reynolds, and every time they're in films together, I feel like they use just retro pop music as almost the anthem of the film, like A Prayer by Madonna in the trailer for this film. I don't know if that song's actually going to be in the film. What was the song by in Free Guy? Was it Fantasy? Mariah Carey? Yeah. Which really sort of just signals how much fun their films are. But Deadpool has had a lot of fun music. Wait, didn't the original Deadpool have a Mariah Carey song? I'm getting sidetracked. I'm not talking about anything important right now. Ryan Reynolds loves Mariah Carey, apparently, according to Google. Who doesn't? I believe Ryan Reynolds helped with the script for this. Right, Reese, John Levy, and Ryan Reynolds worked on the script. Reese did Zombieland. And he also worked on Deadpool and Deadpool 2. One of my main concerns with this film was that it, like other projects from Marvel Studios, would incorporate actors and characters we've seen in other properties in a very vague, implicit way. And that is to say that with characters like Daredevil, for instance, we see him in She-Hulk. He's thrown into a project that isn't the project we met Charlie Cox and his character in. They're not really signal to the audience whether or not this is the same character, exactly, if that show is canon. And ultimately, the appearance feels more gimmicky and less like a faithful continuation of that character's story. And I think that example is a good representation of my concerns with what this film could be. The teaser and this trailer, I think, negate those concerns because, well, it looks like this movie's going to pick up with Wade Wilson, Deadpool, in the universe we've become accustomed to, the Fox universe. And then, likely because of his time travel antics at the end of Deadpool 2, the TVA is going to show up and be like, what are you doing? And they're going to recruit him, I imagine, to do something concerning Wolverine and Hugh Jackman. This is obviously not the same Wolverine that was in Logan. They've made it very clear that they're not going to mess with the ending of that film. It's another Wolverine who let his entire universe down, which will probably have history that's somewhat similar to the Wolverine we got to know in the X-Men films, but whose history has diverged in many ways. Obviously, this is a multiverse film, and it's going to hopefully, definitely, make fun of all the things that people hate about Marvel right now. He's already calling out Kevin Feige for not letting him do Blow in the film. Not that that was anything anyone cared about. Oh, Jennifer Gardner's Elektra's in this. Professor X, rumored, definitely going to show up. Emma Corrin is not. Is Cassandra Nova. Bit on the nose with the bald head. Do I think this film's going to save the MCU? No. I don't think this film's going to save the MCU. I think it's going to be a hell of a good time. I think that Ryan Reynolds and company aren't going to miss. They understand the assignment. They understand the expectations surrounding this film. I don't think its plot and ending are going to set up the MCU in any way that's really going to make a difference. The problem with the MCU right now isn't the fact that the stakes aren't high, or there's no true big bad established. It's more that we're just not invested in any of the characters and their stories like we were the first time around. And when I say the first time around, I'm referring to the phase 1, 2, and 3. Everyone doesn't feel this way, but a lot of people do. And I'm not just saying this because it's the prevalent opinion online. It's just become, I don't even want to use the word franchise fatigue because that's overused. It just feels like everything's the same. I really enjoyed Loki, but beyond that, God. Oh, Guardians 3. Yeah, I mean, because those projects felt like they had more heart. And that's what it's about, is heart. And that's why I think this film's going to work, because Hugh Jackman loves the character of Wolverine. We love him as Wolverine because of the history, because of what it's meant to superhero cinema. The first X-Men movie, his portrayal of the character, along with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man and Batman Begins and other projects, helped to usher in the era of superhero cinema that we have now. Marvel Studios sort of took everything to the next level and ushered in the era of cinematic universes. But Hugh Jackman's like a founding father, not to be melodramatic, of superhero cinema. And Ryan Reynolds is Wade Wilson Deadpool. Their reputations, their legacy is kind of on the line here. I know that's melodramatic to say as well. And everything I said doesn't even take into account how Ryan Reynolds has been hyping up a collaboration with Hugh Jackman as their characters since the first Deadpool film, outside of their god-awful collaboration in X-Men Origins Wolverine. What I liked about this trailer is that it found Wolverine in a familiar position. He's sad and getting drunk if he can, because of whatever tragic thing has happened to him, or whatever mistakes he's made, because he blames himself for whatever happened to his universe. I'm no hero, always says that shit. The great thing about the Deadpool films, the tone that I think they've nailed in the past, they're satire, and they make fun of the genre. But those films also have heart. Like, there's moments with Vanessa at the end of the second film, and then at the beginning of the first Deadpool film, he talks about how this is a love story. You might not expect that, but it is. I think this is going to be a love story. between Deadpool and Wolverine, a bromance that's derived from the real life bromance that is Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. I think, like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, this film is going to stand on its own as something special. And sure, it's going to utilize a lot of things that are happening in the cinematic universe. I just hope that Marvel Studios wasn't like, all right, and we also need to incorporate all these things to help set up the MCU and set up future films so that the fans and everyone will be like, okay, we're back on track. Just focus on character and story, and if there's opportunities are there to set up future films organically and future characters, then do that, I guess. But it shouldn't be at the forefront of what's happening in the film. And that's what I'm worried will happen in this film, that it becomes overly concerned with the future of the MCU, that it will turn Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool into gimmicks that Marvel Studios has defaulted on in the past in order to hype future projects, like the ending or post-credit scene of The Marvels, which was apparently added after the fact. We need to signal that the MCU has a future. And I think that's at the nucleus of what's wrong with franchises and cinematic universes now, is that it's always about the next thing, right? We can't just live in the moment. That's a problem we have with everyday life. It's not just about competent plots and character arcs or heart. All of that is secondary to what's next. Or cheap thrills. Or let's show characters something they know from something else so that they get excited. Distract them from what's actually important. I've heard that this film's going to have variants of Wolverine, variants of Deadpool, which is, I'm sure, going to benefit the comedy of it all. Henry Cavill might be a Wolverine. Overall, I thought this was a great trailer because, like I said before, it had the jokes. We needed to call out everything that everyone in the YouTube comments section has called out about the current state of the MCU, the current state of this genre, the contrivances and the cliches. I don't think any of the secondary characters are going to really make a difference in this film. It completely and utterly rests on the shoulders of Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. It would be a mistake to spend too much time with side characters. I'm also concerned because I feel like they rushed production on this. They set a release date and they've really stuck to it, but it looks good. CGI looks good. Everything looks good. I mean, I'm excited, but I'm cautiously optimistic. And Hugh Jackman really, I probably didn't react to it as much, like, oh my god, he's back. But he really just feels like Wolverine immediately again. He doesn't even look that old. I thought he was going to look so old. He doesn't look old. He looks perfectly Wolverine-esque. You know what? I'm going to pause this and then watch it again and maybe I'll have more to say. Yeah, I didn't notice any of the F-bombs the first time around, and I don't know what that says about my life or the things I've been watching recently. I mean, that would be a big thing. We love it when Wolverine drops an F-bomb, even though I think it was a little overplayed in Logan. No offense. I loved Logan. Yeah, my main takeaway from this is that I love how serious and emotional Hugh Jackman still feels as Wolverine in this trailer. I was worried that when he steps into Deadpool's world, it would be a little too comedic, which wouldn't work for his character. Obviously, Wolverine can be comedic, but he does it in a very melancholy way. You know, he's a misanthrope. But when he does meet Deadpool and the comedy does ensue, it doesn't feel forced at all. It definitely feels like a return to form for Wolverine. I'm very excited for their dynamic. I think this film, irrespective of all the Easter eggs, and I even saw Eliath in there from Loki. Other channels can break down this trailer. I'm not going to. I'm not concerned with other projects right now. I love these two characters. I want this film to be all about character. It can be a redemption arc for the Wolverine who screwed over his universe. A redemption arc not unlike the one Wolverine seems to experience in every X-Men film, where he's not a hero, but he's forced to realize he is one by being heroic, or that's just what he instinctively does. That but magnified. He's saying he's not a hero here again. He's going to realize he is one by helping Wade Wilson become one as well. You know, it's like when parents learn how to be a parent through parenting. I think that's Wolverine, I feel like. Quite literally, with Rogue and stuff in the first few X-Men films. Because Wolverine is a hero. You could argue he's an anti-hero because he does sort of flirt with the gray area, but certainly not as much as Deadpool. Yeah, I'm very satisfied with this trailer. I think it bodes well for the future of this film. And that's all I have for this one. Big love to everyone who's bored enough to join me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Drive me off this platform if you must. Otherwise, like, subscribe, dislike for cathartic reasons. Drink water, stay young, and remember, don't be an idiot. Be a buffoon. Peace.